Thanks for staying with us. Now, Nollywood actor Beverly Naya took to her Twitter handle to narrate her pain about Nigeria, saying, and I quote, "I remember when I first moved to Nigeria, I was the most patriotic person you could ever meet. I would argue with anyone who had anything negative to say about Nigeria." She says, now, whatever you said Nigeria did, she did it. You know, so as we were also scrolling online, we found a photo of our Nigerian Olympics shot put finalist. That's Chukwu Ebuka Enewechi, that's his name, who was seen washing his jersey in preparation for the final games, as that was the only jersey he was given during the tournament. This sparked up a lot of anger online, and I particularly found this reaction worthy of mention. And it goes, Jay said, "There are some types of disgrace that one never knew existed before Nigeria." before, that they never knew existed before. Then Nigeria will introduce you to them. So our question tonight is, can you truly say you are proudly Nigerian? Given all the things that have been happening, that keeps reoccurring for years and years. How old are we, for goodness sake? All right, so please let us share what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So I was just saying to you guys that before the break that, you see, so when I saw that video by BBC on the Tokyo environs and how they are shielding and making sure they are evicting. In fact, those homeless people started protesting and saying that they are chasing them away because they do not want the public to see that state, to see Tokyo in that light.
Yeah.
So that's the government is pushing them away and all of that. So I now said to myself, this is not unique, because part of why Twitter, I feel, was banned was because a lot of Nigerians were projecting Nigerians in a funny light. We were not being patriotic. That's the language.
Concept.
Yeah, that's a concept that you would hear amongst the people in government, right? But when you see things like this, you know, can you really be patriotic to a nation that seems like every time they just keep breaking your heart with the kinds of things that they do? Let me come to you, Uti. When you saw the post on Beverly Naya, what came to your mind first? Because you are a returnee.
Well, sadly, it resonated with me. I want to say that, oh no, it didn't, but in truth, it does. So many of us well-meaning people who have experienced the life abroad, I mean, let's call it what it is. If Nigeria was better, Nigerians would be here. Because that life abroad is not as rosy as we crack it up to be.
Exactly.
You know, so it's not easy to be an immigrant. It's not easy to be a foreigner. It's not even easy to be black abroad. So here in Nigeria, when your foot is on the ground on this soil, you know that I'm home. I'm in my country. Like, I'm not saying people won't try you or things won't happen, but some things are off the table, you know. But when you have been here for a while, Nigeria, you know, the rose-tinted glasses come off, and then Nigeria stops, you know, around about the time you stop being able to refer to yourself as IJGB, Nigeria then starts to show you its true colors. And one of the things that social media has done is they've amplified that. So things that may have happened in smaller circles that you may never have encountered in your own circle, now it's live and in living color on social media. So you get to see the best side of it. You get to see it amplified. It's there, first of all. Then there's the voices that amplify it. There's the comments. So, you know, you start to see that, and so many things have happened in recent times that cause you to be disillusioned. It's easy to be disillusioned as a Nigerian, let's not lie. It's easy. Because literally every day, Nigeria, you wake up and it feels like Nigeria is set out to teach you one lesson or the other on that day. Not even, like I said, social media allows you to experience these things even when it doesn't happen directly to you. You know, the Olympics is a thing of pride. I remember as a child watching the Olympics and always, you know, really keen to see what outfit Nigeria would wear. But to see the pictures that have been shared in the last couple of weeks around our officials and what they're wearing. I remember seeing a picture where they allegedly it was a Nigerian contingent, and some were wearing Arsenal jerseys, some were wearing all sorts. I'm like, there used to be pride in our traditional attire. We used to want to see, what we would wear. So to get to this point now, I am proud to be Nigerian. But like I said, some days it's a statement, some days it's a question. Because you will find, let's even take our politicians. Maybe this is where I'll wrap up. Let's take our politicians. We have created a political system that keeps you and I out of politics and makes room for the touts, makes room for the criminals, makes room for all sorts of people that we all collectively agree should not be leading us, but they are. And when you hear, was I surprised to see that tweet or the images of the comments by Shehu Sani about the deal with Puma that provided the kit?
Yeah.
And then somebody, we don't have enough details to know why the deal was turned down. But when you juxtapose that with our athlete washing his one kit, and then juxtapose that against the salaries that our politicians are earning, you can't, in that particular moment, you can't be proud to be a Nigerian. The pain of this Olympics will live on for a while because, first of all, our contingent, because they could not carry out mandatory testing before the Olympics.
Yes.
Our contingent we were the story of the Olympics. We're one of the early stories. First of all, guys, you're all disqualified. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the country could not get its act together
the
and have them meet the requirements. Exactly, to have them meet the requirements. And then you now add the cherry on top of that very sour sweet. And here's our guy who's going into the finals, washing. I almost wanted to say, I hope you took the Omo from Nigeria. Are you washing your jersey, your Nigerian jersey that should be worn with pride? But sadly, it's not to be.
Just to reference, and I'll come to you, Isi, just to reference what you were talking about, Sheus, and I put up the picture. It says there are, these are the $2.7 million kits freely. It was freely donated to Nigeria by Puma, and an offer of financial reward to our medal-winning athletes, which was rejected by our officials. They instead used public funds to purchase from other sources, and now the embarrassment in Tokyo. So this is just one of the many vices that makes one begin to question that, can I really call myself that I am proudly Nigerian? Right? And not only this Puma jersey, Uti, if you can remember an EC, there was also a deal with a mobile company.
Absolutely.
That provided phones
that has been taken.
They collected those phones and they refused to give it to the athletes. So are we not evil when it comes to being ourselves? Are we not evil, you understand, when it comes to being ourselves? Because the truth is, as you are like this, EC, I have seen cases, or I've heard of cases where companies came into Nigeria and they say, you know what, this is a standard, this is the protocol that we do outside of the country, and we want to pay and make sure that we measure up the salaries of our front line workers and all of that, and measure the same salary to people here in Nigeria. It is us Nigerians,
yes,
that will now go and say, you know what, no, don't spoil them. Don't give them that kind of money. Just pay them peanuts. So how can somebody proudly say, in all of this murkiness, I'll be proud to call myself a Nigerian?
See, Nigeria's issue, whenever it comes to Nigeria, first, I would like to say this, that I love this country. We have our good side and we have our bad side, but it's as if the bad side outweighs the good side. And when you're trying to make it right, somewhere along the line they just come up with different things to frustrate you. Let's not talk about the SMEs, the challenges the SMEs they go through, which we talk about practically every Friday. Let's not talk about the fact that the average Nigerian is trying to make ends meet every minute, which Akin Lami also talked about. Let's not talk about the fact that we as individuals are not kind to ourselves. And where did we lose this? Aristotle, same Aristotle said something. He said that when you fail to educate the mind, when you educate the mind and you fail to educate the heart, there is a big problem. So it still comes back. Did we as educators, did we fail not just the educators who are teachers, we are looking at teachers, we're looking at parents, we're looking at the community, we're looking at Nigeria as a whole. Did we fail to educate the mind of every adult that we have today? Did we? It's a huge question because we do not like ourselves. Look at I had a stint with, what's it called, a vulcanizer. And I had a flat tire yesterday. And I called the man and I said, oh, please, can you help me to fix this? And he told me some substantial amount at the time. And I said, oh, okay, you want to fix the tire? He said, yes. Now the tire has gone bad. And he said, oh, no, that he only changed the tire for that price. And I was amazed, like, for real? And you're complaining about the government and you're complaining about the people around you when you are not even being kind to the next individual right next to you. You want to rip me off because you know I'm a woman. So,
but the kindness, Uti,
no,
you see,
but
that kindness can also come. So you cannot give what you do not have.
You said there's a difference between a good person and a good citizen.
Yeah.
A good citizen is supposed to be there for one another. Look at in America. We made a typical example of this some time back, where when there is an accident, what do? You stop because you never know who is affected by that accident. What do? You try to help, okay? But in Nigeria, when it happens, what do? We say,
just drive past.
Anybody die? Oh, sorry, and that is what we do. Oh, and we move on and we say, oh, an accident happened here yesterday. But at the end of the day, that one is not our fault. It is a part
of
where we are getting it wrong. We are not nice to ourselves because we don't care for each other.
But you see, so it's not a straightforward thing as we don't care. We didn't start off like this. We have been conditioned by our reality. I mean, the way they tell you kids are being kidnapped, the way they tell you people have been killed, whether it's bandits, terrorists, accidents. I mean, let me speak for the last 40 years. For the last 40 years, we have been on that matter, right? We've been at the point where we're at the point where Nigerians have issues, real issues around their reality.
True.
There was a time when if you had an accident, people would gather and take you to the hospital.
Exactly.
Until people started getting blamed for the Good Samaritan work that they did. There was a time, when we would hear, maybe 11, 12 years ago, if we heard of a terrorist attack or something, we would be in genuine shock. Now, it's an everyday thing.
Exactly.
When you hear that kids were kidnapped, look at the uproar at Chibok. How many have happened to? What is we make noise for a few days, we move on, and then when eventually some are rescued, we come back, we touch on the story, it just becomes a news headline. So is it fair to say that we've become unfeeling and selfish? I don't think so. I think that our environment has conditioned us. For some people, it's a coping mechanism. For some people, it's become run of the mill. Our roads are so bad now. Is it weird to think that there might be a road accident? Is it weird to think that a car might run into a trailer? It's now run of the mill. So when you're expecting that, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. How many? It may sound cold and unfeeling, but that's the reality. We've become desensitized to it. Just the way we say people become desensitized to violence as they watch, movies and all of that. We are desensitized to it. So it says a bigger thing for us about our environment, which brings us back to whether we are proudly Nigerian. Issues plenty. How many do you want to? If we sat down and said, okay, let's even just talk about politics and politicians, that's a show for 10 days. Then let's now move sector by sector.
Did you say 10 days or 10 years? Because it's actually 10 years.
I'm being
conservative. It's a discussion for another symposium.
Do you get what I mean? So really and truly, the people that for me are truly selfish, where I would say, that's where we should put our blame, are our leaders, are our decision makers. I don't know, and like I said, we don't have the facts, but we have seen enough times deals being killed because palms were not greased. We have seen people not being able to access funds from what should be government initiatives and programs because envelopes haven't gone from table to
I
table.
agree.
These are the things that keep us chained. These are the things that impact our reality.
I agree.
Where
But
people are dying on the roads because contracts have been handled under the table and the roads that should have been fixed are not fixed. So there are so many reasons why. Like I said, it's endless content for us if we want to discuss it.
Absolutely. So, you know, when Uti was talking, I remember 1999, you know, because we've lived in Kaduna all our lives. My parents still live in Kaduna. I remember that time when the Sharia crisis started and the fight was there and everything. My mother's siblings will call from the US. They will be crying, "No, Rosalie, no, leave that place. Oh, Wukpa, Harriet, Benin." You know, they say in the language, be going to Benin. You know, they will shout, "Oh, go leave." My grandfather then, in fact, that was why he insisted that we do not go to a northern university.
Okay.
We go to the down south of university and all of that. But now, Kaduna has become, today, there's one bandit attack, there's one, they don't even call it anymore. So what Uti was saying, that we are so desensitized to some of these things, we do not even care anymore, because it's like drinking water. We so normalized crime in this country, things that some in other places you would actually cringe when you hear it. Then talking about contracts, I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law. They just did their road. Their road, I can't even know how to explain how many. It's just a short road. When I heard the budget, I put my hand on my head of how much. And if you see the big stamp the Lagos State government went to put it there. This road, meanwhile, bear in mind that this road, they as residents had contributed money to go and do the drainages. So they were about to fix the road. The government saw it and lashed on the opportunity and said, we'll fix the road. Put a big banner there. If you see the quotes that they did. So I now said that you went to my house today. We are the ones doing the road from the junction all the way down. And the budget that they said they have spent for this tiny short road is not even nowhere, it's not even up to 1/4 of what we have spent for that stretch, plus drainage and everything that we're still doing. So I'm trying to explain to you that these are some of the things that you just hear, because I'm trying to piggy it back to the jersey. Do you understand?
Yes.
Somebody would rather take 5 billion naira and say they bought jerseys than for you to accept free jerseys that you know you're not spending a dime.
For the good.
Why do we always have this in government, that you look at government as an opportunity to make money?
Because government has turned everything into racketeering. You want to buy jersey, racket. You want to travel to for Olympics, racket. You want to go into government, racket. You want to be a politician, racket. You want to even buy water in government house, racket. Everything has been turned into
So how do we
something
move
else.
forward?
Solution? That's a tough one, because the only way
because I need to see, so I can't be stamping, you know how we stamp this thing, proudly Nigeria, proudly Nigeria. I can't be stamping it and I do not believe it.
Solution starts from us, which I started with, you know, we are not kind to ourselves. Solution starts from us as individuals. If we take it as a ripple effect from one person to the other, it's a gradual process, but we will hit the nail on the head.
Please don't call the WhatsApp line, or whoever is calling. Do not call the WhatsApp line. Or they started calling the WhatsApp line. We would open the phone line, but let's just go for this short break. When we come back from the break, we'll tell you the phone line to call in. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we are asking, can you be proudly Nigerian? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is also now open. Please call us on 070-2500-7749. That's 070-2500-7749. And when you call, please turn off the volume of your television set and try to keep your conversation within a minute. Please do not call the WhatsApp line. It's just the phone call line that you need to call in. Somebody's been trying to call a line. So Uti and Isia asked the question, what's the way forward? Because you see, I don't want proudly Nigerian to be a tagline. It's not a tagline. It's something that you say it with all pride.
Just like
wherever you take your green passport to, you will tell them, please, don't think I'm coming to your country. There was a
Even
time,
our green passport
there was a
doesn't
time my
even
mom
have
would
any
just go
regard.
to London for the weekend
Ah.
as a student and just come. I want to just go and this. They were begging. Where did all of these things change, for goodness sake?
I wouldn't say the
If I tell you the story of my green passport experience, you will cry for me.
wow.
Till today, I don't fly through Dulles Airport in the US because that experience was that traumatic. I was not coming in, I was leaving.
Wow.
And the guy took my passport, literally held it by the cover, just one cover, so it was open. Then he took a pen and was trying to open the page, asking me where my visa was.
For real?
Wow.
And I
like
was
you are a
stunned.
plague.
For real?
I was stunned. Literally, that was the singular experience. Literally, when I got back home to London, I went and put in my application because my mom had been hounding me, go and do your British passport video. And I said, no, I'm happy I've got it. As I got home, they didn't tell me twice. So the reality of it is, so much of Nigeria is portrayed in the negative. In fact, I was a little bit, as much as I don't really watch Nollywood movies, it was a relief to have something out there that showed Nigeria in a different narrative from what people seemed to think of this country. And it's not hard to think that when you hear the stories that are out there in the media. I mean, to then come back to the fact that, let me use the current hot topic, that in this Olympic story, as much as has been said, nobody in the sports ministry has lost their job. Nobody in any federation. In fact, it hasn't even been deemed story enough for it to be addressed by the government.
Because it's not
moved on.
They are not moved. You know what? Let me take a call.
Yeah.
I think we have Femi from Ibadan.
Because there's no accountability. That's why.
You're not even ashamed.
No accountability.
Femi, are you there? Thank you for calling.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Sorry for staying on the line. Thank you. You're live. Go ahead, please. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I want us to distinguish between two things. The country Nigeria is different from the government of Nigeria. People don't hate Nigeria. It is the government and the people running it that people really hate, and they use it to try to get at when they are against Nigeria. It is the government that they are trying to get against.
Yeah.
It is like, I finished from University of Ibadan. I like my institution, but I might not like the vice chancellor and the people that are running it presently. If you have the opportunity, ask people around if there's equity, justice, and fairness in Nigeria. Would you prefer to be a Ghanaian? Nobody wants to be the citizen of any other country. If you can fit, if there's security, if what you have in UK, Australia, and Canada, they are available here. I would rather be a Nigerian.
But
when
Femi,
people that are running,
it is
they are hostile towards you.
Femi, can you hear me?
That the most hostile person, the most hostile country to Hasidis is Nigeria.
Yes.
And I believe the person.
Femi, I was going to ask you a question. Can you hear me,
Thank
Femi?
you.
Oh, okay. I think he wasn't. I was going to ask him, because he said we should be able to separate the people in government and the country. Is it not the people in the government, right, that are like the custodians that make what the country eventually become? Can you really separate it? Do you understand?
Yes, I do. But another thing is this, that the people are also the ones that put those people who are in government in the government seat.
No, let's leave who put them there. Because you see, it is the people that are the custodians,
yes,
of the nation,
yes,
that eventually
represents.
Thank you. That would not only represent, they are the ones that would actually eventually build the image of the nation. So can we truly separate the people in government from the people? Do you understand? At some point, when these kinds of people continue to lead and are in positions of power,
leadership,
you will begin to hate even the country itself that they are. They're leading.
There was a time that we had, I can't remember what with the government right now, but then they would say, what they would always say is, we need to make Nigeria a country that can attract individuals who are interested in what's it called, investing in Nigeria.
Investors, yeah.
So what do? They tried to work on the image, which was one thing
branding.
that Dora Akunyili, Professor Dora Akunyili,
you know what, let me
did
take
at
Femi.
the time she was
Yeah.
here.
Let me take Femi from, we have a lot of Femis today. Femi from Lagos. Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Good evening. Yes, what I have to say is that all of us, we go out and we love Nigeria. But for Nigeria to move forward, our decision makers, the politicians, have to take minimum wage. When they take minimum wage, they have their normal jobs, and then they feel what we feel and make decisions for us. But if they take exorbitant salaries, they are not making. They just sleeping and collecting free money. So until that is done, that is the way forward.
Thank you, Femi.
Thank you.
Uti, let me come to you.
They're not interested in collecting that small
minimum
salary.
wage. Yeah.
The day you make it a minimum wage, that's the day we won't find anybody to be president of Nigeria. But the truth is, when you were asking the question about separating the government from the country, like I said earlier on, it is hugely difficult today to get into politics. I mean, I think they raised it to, was it 5 billion or something?
Yeah.
They raised the money ridiculously, right? And I even remember back when our current president was going to run, the big deal that they made about APC donating money to buy the form and all of that. So to even get into politics today, I keep saying it, it's largely, even if you are well-meaning, can you play the game? Can you deal in the violence? So the system is a self-perpetuating evil in that the people that are there have orchestrated it in such a way that you can't get into it without getting your hands dirty. It's not possible.
Exactly.
Now, if you truly want to go there and make a difference, would you get your hands dirty? Because you're compromised from the start, even before you get in. When you get in, it becomes a thing of all the godfathers and all the people that paved the way for you to get there. You need to begin to settle.
Grease their palms.
Yeah. So whether it's by appointment, whatever it is, you are still creating the same solution. So you that you say you are there for the cause, you're not getting to the table. You're not getting a seat at the table. So when you talk, like you talked about this road that you're fixing, I remember how ludicrous it sounded to me that when you want to fix a road, the local government will tell you to pay.
My sister, that's a can of worm we are going to open when we bring the minister for works. But let me take David. David from Lagos. Thank you for calling. David, are you there?
Yeah, David, I'm here.
Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say.
Well, quite frankly, thank you so much for bringing this issue, this topic on television. How can we be proudly Nigerian? Couple of days ago, my daughter, who is about 11 years old, asked me, Daddy, why is it that your president is having a medical treatment in England? Does it mean that we don't have a hospital here to take care of ourselves? I was a little bit dumbfounded, and I brushed that information. I didn't want to answer that question. I brushed it off. And up to today, I don't have a concrete answer that she has imposed on me. My president on a medical treatment in England, that means that Nigeria, the biggest country in Africa, does not have a hospital to take care of their leaders. Where all our leaders, all their children are schooling abroad. Neither is in England or is in Canada or is in USA. What happened to the Nigerian institutions? I haven't seen any leader in any country in the West that has anchored in Africa to take a medical treatment. None of the prime minister in England have actually seek for a medical treatment or a medical help in any African hospital.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Why is it that all our leaders, Obasanjo's wife went for tummy tuck-up in Spain and died. Babangida wife died in USA on a medical treatment. How can I encourage, what do I have to tell my daughter who is about 11 years old?
Thank you so much, David. I think, what you've just done is, sometimes I actually wish that our leaders, how I saw that surgery that they were performing on our president is almost like removing the earplugs from the ears and all of that. It seems like, they are here, but they're not hearing what we are saying.
Selective hearing.
You understand? They're not hearing what we're saying. Because I know that in Dubai, for instance, I can't remember when last I was in Dubai. But there was a time my mom was going to Dubai maybe every 6 months or so, because she was doing some businesses there. And I know how every 6 months you go to the airport. Yeah?
There is a change.
You can't recognize it.
There is a change.
Then when you go into Dubai, the constructions, it was like back to back. They were very deliberate about making that country a place to behold, like a place for you to crave, say, I want to visit this place. Now, these our leaders that we have, they visit, and guess what? The Dubai that they go to is not the kind of Dubai that I go. They will go to the high of the high. So meaning that the thing that I think is luxury that I've experienced, they experience like times 50 of it. And yet you cannot have that national pride to say, you know what? If they can do it in this country, I can bring it home to Nigeria. Let me take Austin from Benin, then I'll come to you ladies. Thank you for calling. Austin, let's hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you, Austin from Benin. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Okay, so Nigeria is a very good country. If you travel around this country, you will discover that this country is a blessed country. Nigeria has both material and human resources, and we're actually supposed to be the best in Africa. But the problem of Nigeria is Nigerians themselves. That's the problem of Nigeria. But, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the unfortunate thing is that the bad appears to be more than the good ones. That's the problem. Okay, now, this is what I experienced. My first time of leaving this country was in 1991 December. I went to Houston for a training. When I landed at the airport, you won't believe what happened. 2 dogs were sent after me. 2 dogs. I saw 2 dogs. The guy had the 2 dogs. And I didn't see anybody that was treated that way. Now, an American told me in Houston that he has never heard of a country called Nigeria. And I asked him, but we just defeated America in Saudi Arabia in one of those football tournaments.
Matches.
And then I asked him, here in Houston, don't you know Hakeem Olajuwon? Go and find out. Hakeem Olajuwon is a Nigerian. Okay, now, talking about patriotism, are you not surprised to see our people displaying flags of openly displaying flags of other countries, especially British,
Austin, don't even go there.
In this country.
Austin, don't go there.
I'm sure you have seen it. I know a vice chancellor, I don't want to mention his name, who sent his, hello?
Go ahead.
I know a vice chancellor in this country who sent his son to invest to Ghana, a vice chancellor in a Nigerian university. So what do you say of somebody like that? So like I said, Nigeria is a very good country with all the resources, but the problem of Nigeria are Nigerians. And then for the leaders are product of the same system. We should not expect them to be different. They can't be different.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you so much.
Wow. Exactly.
Our time, we've really run out of time. But let's take some comments, Uti and Isi.
Okay. Nigeria. It is well. Good evening, ladies. This is from Ade. He says, I'm a proud Nigerian. However, living abroad doesn't change my full identity. Our leaders are not playing a true leadership or honest role to unite us. In diaspora, Nigerians are well respected and engaged in building a future nation abroad. If our leaders cares to build a better nation, Nigeria will be great and ready to relocate home.
That's Nigerians, we meant.
Yes, that's what he meant. Nigerians.
Go ahead, Uti.
All right, so I have a comment from Austin from Delta, and he said, solution does not start from us. Yes, there should be citizens' participation, but to a limit. I don't beat traffic lights, whether night or Sunday. Beat the traffic lights in the UK and you will smell pepper. The buck stops at the table of who? Until we have effective leadership of enforcement impunity, anarchy and lawlessness will persist.
So let's wrap up. Isi, what do you think? How do you think? I mean, a lot of people have said a lot of things. I mean, it was such a shame. I don't know if you guys follow the Olympics. I mean, you watch some kind of funny countries, you know that this is in Nigerian. Some of them they've tweaked the name in a funny way so that, you know, my God.
You know, when you see some things about Nigeria, we have so much potential. We have so much to give. But because of the surrounding or the situation we have found ourselves in Nigeria, we are actually relegated to, you know, not putting in our best or being able to, you know, reach the potential which we know we can achieve. Our entrepreneurial skills are far outweighs what we actually feel, and we are so resilient in what we believe in. And if only we have the kind of government we have, as you know, with the way we feel about our tenacity and our drive to succeed and achieve things, Nigeria will be a better place. Absolutely. So it starts with us.
Uti.
So I will try and stay on the Olympics. Is it difficult to be proudly Nigerian? It is. It really is. If we tell ourselves the truth. I remember a few months ago, more than a few weeks, but maybe not quite 2 months, where the story trended of the ex-weightlifter who was almost homeless, fixing the streets in Aja, only to hear that he was an Olympic athlete. You know, it was one of the shocking realities that social media allows you to see. Is it difficult to be proudly Nigerian? Yes, it is. Is it possible to remain proudly Nigerian? Yes, because I can focus on our resilience. I can focus on our spirit. Our spirit is indomitable. We rise even in the midst of everything that our geography and our leaders have done to us. So from that perspective, proudly Nigerian is a statement. But those questions, they come fast. Yeah.
And they need answers, honestly. I think we need to go back to where we place value where it's supposed to be placed. There was a time in these countries where lecturers rejected oil and gas money because they wanted to lecture the next generation. There was a time where we placed premium on education. Today, that is not the case. And we're seeing that with every single day passing by, the standards continue to fall. At some point, you don't even know what, again, you want to hear that. You know, I think with Nigeria, nothing shocks you anymore.
Exactly.
And because nothing shocks us anymore, right, it will be difficult for us to say we are proudly Nigerians. It's like, oh, okay, it happened, and we move on. So for us to get back to that place where we beat our chest and say, you know what, I am proud to be called a Nigerian, and I am happy to be a Nigerian, we need to go back to the drawing board and start to put value where value belongs, on the things that, yes, that should be valued. There should be dignity in labor. Then when people are working, give them what is due them. You know, let's start to demand for quality and stop mediocrity in this country. I think if we start that one, we'll find a solution. But we've really run out of time. You know, this Nigerian matter, like Uti said, She said 10 days. Me, I said 10 years. We'll continue to talk about it because I remember my
I
grandfather.
said 10 days per topic.
For a topic. Oh, per topic. I heard now you've quantified it. My grandfather, before he died, he was always talking about Nigeria. But you know what? We'll leave it here. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Isi. Thank you, Uti, for doing this with us. And thank you to everyone that called in today. I can't remember your names, but thank you, and the people that sent in their messages. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at WasteShowAfrica. You can drop your comment and interact with us further. We're also planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Waste brand. So do well to follow us now. It's at WasteShowAfrica on Instagram. Share, like, and invite your friends and family to watch. So if you missed today's quote, here it is again. It's not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen. These are two different things. So it's not enough to say you're a good man. We have to start to merge both, I think, if you ask me. All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.